Already did. I already did, Jessi. All right. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome to another Facebook Live here at the Artist Lounge, located in Seneca Falls, New York. Don't mind Jessi ripping my computer away. Seneca Falls, New York. It's a great art studio. Over 60 local artists on hand in their gallery. Jessi does have an online website if anyone wants to check out some of them. We're going on day 3 of our Facebook Live series to help everybody. Today we're going to be going over the one I promised yesterday. We're going to be doing an acrylic on canvas. We're going to be adding ourselves a moon, nice little tree, some purple leaves to it. Really cool mountains in it, so I hope you guys enjoy this one. To start off, we got to put our moon in here. When we're putting our moon in, a couple different things we can do. Josh, you want to grab me another chair real quick? This thing is pretty loud.
You hear it, Phil? you need a swivel?
No. There we go. I can just turn around. So, in studio today, I know you've been seeing him a lot on TV and everything, talking about a bunch of different things. So, figured we'd lighten the mood. Invited President Trump in today. Would you go ahead and say hi to him?
Just want to say, everyone, thank you for tuning in tonight. It's wonderful to be here. Greatest art studio in all America, okay? And I know people because I talk to people. And they say this is the greatest. Bigly huge.
So, of course, that's our very own Bill Clinton in studio tonight. He posted some of his previous works. Very big connoisseur of buff beer. A new line coming out this fall.
The greatest buff.
That's right. So, when we're painting tonight, I'm going to go ahead and show you each color that we're going to be working with. I'm going to start off with gray. If you guys get a chance, find yourself something smaller with a circle, like a plastic plate, just anything that you can make your moon with. Your moon doesn't have to be the exact same size as mine. So, if you find something smaller, that's just all right. It's not a problem at all. I'm going to go ahead and start off with a little gray. As before, I'm loading my brush with only a very small amount. I'm going to put my plate on first to get my area that I want my moon to be. Without putting a lot of pressure on pre-stretched canvas, you just want to go ahead and put some lines in around it. Now we're going to be taking this off in a quick second. Go ahead and take it off. Your moon may have a little, I don't know if you see how mine is, a little groove at the top. That's perfectly fine. We're going to go ahead and smooth those out. We're going to add a couple dark spots to it. So, as we get going with this, biggest thing I'd tell you, don't cover up all the white in the background, okay? As you're painting with this, I'm keeping my stroke side to side. If you want, you can have it like a cloudy background doing circles. You just got to do that when you're tracing out your moon. But you're just going side to side, carrying it along. When you leave some of that white showing, it kind of adds that depth, like there's going to be clouds in there. I'm going to be adding some other colors to darken things up and bring things out. So really starting off with gray, leave a little white. If you didn't leave a lot, you can just add some white to it right afterwards and highlight some areas if you want. If you watch the ones before, you see me going side to side over it, and they did go past my moon. I make sure that all the paint's off my brush before I do that. It's a habit I have of just knocking down the thicker layers to allow it to dry a little more, get tacky before I move on to something else. From here, how are we making out, Mr. President?
Photo negative, not too bad. Pretty good. I'm going to try to keep up this time.
Get used to the fast painting. So, we're going to be going into our moon area. Now, our tree will end up going in front of our moon, so we want to get this all squared away before we get to that part. We're going to start with the moon, we're going to move towards our mountains afterwards, and then we'll go ahead and add our water and then our tree. So our tree is going to be one of our last things we do tonight. So, what I'm doing now is I'm grabbing a little black, mixing it with that gray. Okay, I'm going to start, and what I'm doing is I'm just kind of taking this sea of the moon, pretty much the half of the moon right here, and I'm going to carry that color. I'm allowing that paint to break as I do it. And I'll pull this closer over so you guys see this. And once I have it off my brush mostly, I'm just going to clean off my brush by going side to side, letting it wear off. And you see how I do that? It kind of gives that moon look to it. But you don't really want to do that when you have a lot of stuff on your brush. You kind of just smear it around to get most of that paint off.
Got a little Rorschach painting going on right now.
You trying to do all the opposites?
Trying to do a little opposite. See the face.
When it comes to the mixer, so you guys can see, you can just keep adding different layers of paint. I gotta add some more gray on mine. And you can really go to town on that if you want. I usually like to try to leave one side of it nice and dark, leave the other side light. That's just my preference. If you want, you can even go in, do little darker spots in there, and just add them as you see fit with the moon. It really just, it's a good way to practice it. You can use sponges, crinkled up bags, all different kinds of paintbrushes for it. So take a second. I'm going to let this get tacky. Just wanted to remind you guys, as you're logging on and stuff, understand, feel free to use whatever you want. If you have a box of crayons, you don't have paint, but you got crayons, you got colored pencils, markers, feel free to go ahead and use anything. If you don't have canvas, loose leaf paper's fine, a jean jacket's fine, shirts are fine, boards are fine. Just be creative with it. Paper bag. I know everybody has a lot of those now, seeing that we can't have plastic. So, paper bag. Now that you're all homeschool teachers, take them back to like 1994, where you use those bags to wrap around your books. Okay, you can make little computer sleeves and deck out the covers. I mean, that's what I would do. I mean, that's pretty good. Did you have one of those, Mr. President?
I made them on a regular basis. They were the greatest.
It probably said how much you love yourself, right?
Well, it said that I was the greatest, so they were amazing book covers.
Best book covers ever.
Best book covers ever.
So, as I told you in the past couple videos, I'd like to give some shout outs to some local businesses. Autumn's Harvest Farm out in Romulus, New York. A lot of people are worried about, shelves being empty at stores. Autumn's Harvest Farm is a family-run farm. They opened in 2001. Tim and Sarah Hawes, they have a ton of meat over there. Feel free to stop in. They got great prices, grass-fed beef, grown right here locally in the Finger Lakes. So, Romulus, New York. Jessi will go ahead and throw in the link to their page in the comments, as she always does. So, if you guys get a chance to support a local business, I'd like to say happy birthday out there to Spencer Tullis. He's he's somebody that's been in, got pictures of the gallery, very nice friend of ours. So happy birthday, Spencer. I'd like to also give a shout out to Corner Deli in Waterloo, New York. They have, they're one of the businesses out there, a restaurant struggling. Want to make sure, support those businesses. One of the best Facebook things I've seen lately was about, the memes that everybody's putting out is all these businesses are always asked to, contribute to charity. Now, it's a good way for you guys to support them or at least show them something. Order lunch someplace, pick it up, take it home, enjoy it with your family.
Parker's currently has their
hours, so
just so people know.
Yeah, so Parker's has their hours going right now. Friday and Saturday night, 4 to 8. That's their new hours. There's a bunch of different specials. I'll have Jessi put this link in. So Parker's right here in Seneca Falls. They're definitely worth checking out. She always orders their Manverse burger. Hey, what's up, guys? I see Lori Gano's on. How you two doing? We're going to go ahead and move forward. We're going to be going into some of our mountains over here. And I like to do mountains, even though they're acrylic. I'm going to stick to using this Bob Ross style brush. Palette knife. So Lori Gano that just signed on, she's one of the artists that's featured downstairs in the gallery. She does some really cool, or Lisa, sorry. Downstairs they end up having some really cool stone art. If you guys go onto Jessi's website, theartistlounge.org, you can click right on the store and you guys can go ahead and check out some of her work. Going in with the mountains, if you don't have a palette knife, I'm going to show you, it's real simple, any of your brushes. We're going to be doing triangles. Alright? And what I do with a palette knife is I like to drag them just to get my shape. And then I'll go ahead and fill them in. can make these all sorts of different ways. You can make little edges coming off of one side. And then we're going to go right through here. I'm just going to thicken up this line. I'm going to switch to my 2-inch brush. One of them old school guys, I still like that 2-inch brush for some reason. You know, you move away from it, but it's always been a comfort brush for me. So. Maybe because I'm lazy and it paints real fast, but.
Would you mind showing us how to do the rolling of the tape, or the paint onto the?
Well,
especially for at home.
with oil you can really drag the paint out and cut into it and get a little roll of paint. With acrylic, I'm using this apple barrel acrylic, which it's a really fluid paint because I'm not adding a medium to it. So in not adding a medium to it, it's kind of runny. So I'm just dipping in my palette knife like this. If I hold it like this, it quite literally will eventually drip down. And then I'm just, when I'm applying it, flattening it out as much as I can. Like I said, I'm only using that. I just get used to making mountains with that palette knife. So while we were talking, if you guys know a business, local business that wants a shout out, make sure you guys let us know. Message Jessi. She wants to be able to support all the business. We aren't charging for it. We want to send it out there for people. Let you know that we're here for you. We're doing the best we can to contribute in our way. And right now, it's really just getting these painting classes for you. I'm doing there is just shoring up some lines. While that's getting tacky, to add our highlights for our mountain, I'm going to be going ahead and switching over and adding some white to this. I'm going to show you both ways. I'm going to show you if you wanted to do this. I didn't share paint, so you brought your own paint. That's rough. All right, so I'm going to show you how to just add it with a brush. And I'll go ahead and move away from my 2-inch brush. I'm going to move into, I'll just grab one. Looks like this is a semi-fan brush. I say semi because it's like a flat-bottomed fan brush. Okay. When I'm putting these on, you can choose all sorts of directions you want to go. So I'm going to start with this guy right here, this bigger one. And I'm going to touch it right here and just drag it down. Okay? Bring it a little closer so you guys can see. And if you want, oh, there it is. You had yourself a little cliff right there. A lot easier to do with oil than acrylic, but the effect's the same.
So we're being told you're like the Bob Ross of Facebook.
Thank you, thank you. I'm nowhere near Bob Ross. He was amazing, but thank you.
He was a great guy.
He's a great guy. So now I'm going to jump into my palette knife. If you don't have a palette knife, anything flat, malleable, see how it bends? I guess that's a good word. So I guess I'm teaching you guys new words. So I'm just going to go in and I'm going to just let it break. I'll go in, hit right here, drag it through, let it break. I think with the palette knife it kind of just gives that effect a little more. Speaking of Bob Ross, this is actually his style of mountains. Palette knife even and everything. That's who taught me. PBS. I missed them. Too rich for your blood. Did you donate to them, Mr. President?
PBS? No, I did not.
Did you try to shut them down at all?
I did.
I did. It's ruthless. Normally here at the Lounge we like to stay politically free, but when Bill Clinton came in saying he wanted to dress up like Donald Trump, well, we allowed that. I don't really like the guy. Just can't turn certain things down. You know what? I think I'm gonna just carry some. Like there's a little,
Yeah, I got a little,
little trail line going through here. And I'm just cleaning off the end of my palette knife, just scraping it on some of that black just to kind of keep that dark shadow. Normally when you're doing this, if you add snow on here, and you got a nice blue sky, you can go in, take your white, add just a little shade of blue to it, and you go ahead and hit that side, whatever color you did your sky, and it makes for a pretty cool effect. I got a gray sky, so I want my purple tree to pop in it, so this is where we're gonna end off with this. All right, we got to check in on Bill.
I think I'm doing okay. This is actually a little reverse.
Not
but I think
looking bad.
okay. It's not
I'm gonna get out of your way so you guys can check out the president's work here.
So what I've been trying to do is I was told that we started with a black canvas. So you'll see that I prepped my canvas with black paint, only to discover that's not what we were supposed to do. So I'm trying to work opposite of what Dale is.
Sometimes you say one thing and mean another is what you're trying to say.
That's what I'm trying to say. But it's happy little accidents, happy little accidents. Nothing's wrong when you're painting.
Well, he's keeping up
Better this time.
better this time. So, I'm going to move back into that 2-inch brush. I'm going to go ahead and add a layer of snow in this one compared to the original. And I'm just basically going to just run that across. And if you want, you can go into a little fan brush action here. Just by tapping the canvas, you can get some little trees through there. They're distant trees though. I don't want them to stand out, so I'm not making them huge.
Can you make it bigly?
Not huge. Did you say bigly?
Well, that's what he says all the time, so I assume bigly.
Bigly.
Or maybe it's big league. I'm not sure.
Bill, how we making out?
Do you use gray at the bottom? Or did you do
White.
White?
Yeah. You want to put it on a little thick with that black canvas though.
I think I'm going to do a little gray, I think.
Jess, I grabbed a navy. Can I have like a brighter blue?
Like a cobalt?
Sure. Let's try that. While we're on here, can you guys all hear me all right? Every now and then I notice that when I'm looking at the canvas and I'm talking, it doesn't come through. So if you can't hear me, just let Jessi know. She's here with me tonight. Guys all struggled getting through last night with me. It was unbearable. So one of the cool things that I heard today, for you guys that run small businesses, check out Facebook. One of the people that's helped businesses everywhere, in my opinion. Facebook has actually put out a grant for small businesses. I believe, and don't quote me on it, it's facebook.com/small business. I guess they've dedicated, yeah, just Google it. They're another good company out there on the internet. But look into it. If you run a small business and you're struggling, they have a lot of money that they're helping businesses out with. So check that out.
Not sure if anyone's heard of Facebook before, but
Do you use the Google?
Oh, Amy says she can hear you loud and clear. Sir. Sir.
Whoa.
very presidential.
They're probably more worried about hearing Bill.
I'm sure you got people tuning out going, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it when I'm recording.
It's probably confusing some of the people that aren't from the area or haven't watched the other episodes. They're like, he keeps calling this Donald Trump looking guy Bill. Hey, Chris Felisa's on!
Would you use the True Navy? He used the cobalt.
Use the cobalt. There you go. So, Bill brought his own paints tonight. Because if you guys watched the first video, I never handed him any paint while we were painting together. So, Jessi's in the background, like running back and forth, getting Bill paint.
I got a little behind.
So I threw some cobalt in just with my 2-inch brush. Just let it mix. You'll see some gray that mixed into there. I didn't clean it from, and you guys can see it has some black in it, which made for some cool effects, kind of dulled it out. I'm going to go in here with that trusty palette knife with a little white. I'm going to just cut this edge right here. Give it a nice little blend. Let me run my tree through here, so I'm not really too concerned with this side. Throw a little more white, a little cleaner line. Little cleaner line, not so dirty. Now comes everyone's favorite part, the tree. You ready for that tree yet,
I'm
Mr.
just
President?
about ready for
Okay.
a tree. I'm
All right.
keeping up.
Oh, they're there. My tree brushes I showed you guys yesterday. So I said tree brushes. I'm sure there's a legal art name for these that someone cares about, just not me. This is my thicker, long-haired round brush. See if it has a name. I can't find one, but somebody will care. If you do, post it in the bottom. Let somebody know. This is my thinner. It looks a little fluffier, but it's a thinner, long-haired brush. It's like a long-haired liner brush. I like these two, especially when I'm doing trees. There it is. So I'm going to go in with that thicker, long bristle brush. I'm going to start at the bottom. I always like starting at the trunk of the tree. So I'm going to pick my spot where I want it to come. Happy little trees. And I'm just moving this around, letting it flow. See how I run out of paint right here and you kind of lose it? If that happens, okay, let me back up a second. Once you start painting, don't stop the way I do it, guys, okay? With the trees. Make your line. If you have to re-go over the line, I would much prefer re-going over it than sketching it. What do I mean by sketching it? Okay? When you sketch it, looks pretty cool on the canvas, I'm not going to lie, or on the camera, but when you sketch it, you get all those darker spots. If you just go in, you can do it perfectly fine. As you run out, it actually adds a little depth. What do you got, Jess?
Lindsay says trees with BTs.
That's right. But it's kid-friendly tonight, Jessi. I can't...
Amy says she loves your mountain and the moon and the mountain in the foreground.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Hopefully you're doing one as well. That's why we do this. If not, then it's all of you just getting online to watch me, and I'm not that interesting.
Is the patented 5-branch tree method?
That's correct. Correct. What Bill's bringing up is my rule of 5. Most preppers have the rule of 3. Live by that. But for this one, I have a rule of 5 when it comes to painting. You get to put 5 major brushes or branches on with your larger brush. Now there's a reason I do it. While I'm doing it, I get going and saying, hey, I put this one on here and I'm putting this one on here. A lot of times, I go crazy with this bigger brush, thinking, man, it looks great. But then I start doing my detail stuff, and I really wish, before I went too crazy, I wish I would have just jumped into this. You end with a nice, sharper point, and I'll show you guys here. And you can get a lot more detail going through it with that little branch. Now, the joke that was made earlier, that's an inside joke for adults. When we paint these branches, I hold the end of my brush right here, okay? And I keep this little shaky movement, and when I put branches on, I'm making Ys. So whenever I start right here, I'm going to add another Y. Now I'm going to show you what my eyes hate looking at, but I see it a lot. A lot of times people are going to do this. And then they end with this like thicker club on their paint. I'll show you. Get a little closer. And then you're like, man, my tree doesn't look realistic. So, best way I can explain it is like a plane taking off. Preferably not infected. Okay? So, you're going to fly off the canvas. Okay? So, it's like taking off. And that'll help you get that more pointed end to it. So if you guys are having trouble to where you're ending with little club branches, try gliding off the canvas rather than abruptly stopping. Now, I gotta fix that. Other thing a lot of people do when they're painting trees is they like to end a branch right before another branch happens. You'll see how close I am right there to that thing, that other branch. Feel free. Branches do cross each other, okay? It happens in nature. It'll also add depth to your painting, okay? If you go through highlighting things, you're going to want to define them more with maybe highlights and stuff like that. So I'm thickening up the bottom of my tree a little more. Feeling like it's about week 6 of this quarantine, and I still want it to be on the 3rd day. Okay, so do my count. We got 1 branch, 2 branch, 3 branch, 4 branch, and I guess we'll consider that one there to be the 5th. Now I stopped using my bigger brush. I've already put way too much on with it. And now I'm just going to take this little long bristled liner and go in, add in my branches. I know what you're thinking. You're like, Dale, how many branches do I add? However many you want.
Whatever makes you happy.
Right. I definitely would like to thank everybody for sharing. Last video, I think we were over 500 views. So thank you everybody for sharing. For everybody that's jumping on, painting, asking questions, you know, thank you for painting along with us. We hope you guys are enjoying it as much as we are. I know Bill is.
Enjoying it completely, immensely.
And this is just like putting little Y's off of Y's. YMCA. I only thought you knew how to spell mega. For those of you that are just joining, we do have President Donald Trump painting with us tonight.
I don't make mistakes or happy mistakes. What I do is intentional.
I knew you guys didn't want to paint with me. You guys are all just signing on like little traitors to follow Bill.
So as you can see, my painting looks nothing like Dale's. Trying to make it.
Sky looks like it has this glow to it. I like that.
Well, I had to improvise with my black canvas.
That's what happens when you say one thing, mean another, and do another. You know.
I do not like trees, so it's practice makes perfect. So
I'm dropping things over here. I got paint all over my arm. It's going crazy.
I was not able to be here live yesterday, but I was able to watch and do yesterday's painting this morning, and once again, got a little more experiences with trees.
That looks good.
My favorite. My favorite.
Oh, Jessi, do you want to grab me that one I showed you for tomorrow? I'll show the kids. So, for those of you that have children, and by children I mean men over 30 in the house, tomorrow we're going to paint the Death Star and Millennium Falcon. So, how awesome is that? So, I know you guys are trying to stick to your cool bedtimes and structured schedules. Let them stay up if they can. Millennium Falcon's cool. We can add a Baby Yoda. You know what? I'm going to add a Baby Yoda, and we'll be doing the Star Wars one tomorrow.
7 o'clock, right?
Tomorrow's class will be 7 o'clock, yes. So,
Jessi says you two should have a TV show.
we should. It's called Facebook Live at 7 o'clock. Sign in. We're too cheap, so we got this set up.
We're bosom buddies.
So I'm grabbing some white, not rinsing the black off my brush, and I'm just trailing along the side of one side of my tree, adding this little highlight. You can go crazy and add it all the way up onto every branch if you want. Most likely, you're going to end up covering those things with leaves. Ask Jessi, is he painting with us? I've noticed he's checked it out a couple days in a row.
Jessi?
My cousin Jessi, right? Now I know from a distance you're like, wow, that looks cool. When you bring it up close,
Not so much.
hold on. Like I told you guys, I stink at this part. There's just a bunch of white lines going through there. Okay? Traced them up, went through some of the branches, didn't go crazy on them all. The reason I didn't is because we're going to be adding leaves. Now, if you made any branches in here you didn't like you saw me go through and fix this clubbed branch, just as easily could have added leaves in front of it. So I'm going to start next with a dark purple. This one's called Royal Violet. Violet. How do you say it?
Violence.
Violence.
Oh, violet. Purple. Donatello.
You call it Donatello.
No one wanted to be Donatello, so that was always the one I got to be. I was included.
While everybody was like Michelangelo,
Raphael.
Leonardo, and Raphael.
I got to twirl a stick.
Yeah.
Made me quite popular in high school.
Jessi said he's just been watching. He's a horrible painter, he says.
Jessi, you have to grab something. You got to be a part of this. We gotta reel you in. Why don't you be the guy that does magazine clippings of this? So, all right. So I'm grabbing purple. It looks like there's a lot of my brush, but really, just that much of my brush has purple on it. Okay. And I'm gonna go ahead, tap. I am not gonna make brush strokes. I am tapping the canvas. For those of you that have been to an art party, you know my phrase.
Is there supposed to be a phrase?
Oh, that's right. Now, just because there's not a branch, okay, doesn't mean you can't put leaves there. All right? What?
Oh, Lindsay said it.
Lindsay, it's supposed to be kid friendly. However, if you guys are anything like this homeschool teacher, you start wanting to drink at about noon.
Real kid friendly too.
Talking about Kool-Aid, Jessi. Sugar, keep me awake, right?
Did you use Royal Violet?
Yes, Royal Violet.
Royal Violet.
Yeah. Now, you can either switch into a white and lighten up the purple that you already have, or you can go grab petunia purple from your closet. We know most of you were like, I gotta have that purple. Man, this thing's coming out awful. With this lighter, I'm just actually putting it on the corners of the brush, okay? And I'm going to go in and tap in some highlights. So, now we're at the part where we may want to add some kind of animal, bird, whatever else. So, if you guys want, I'll give it a little second while I do my pitch. I'll let you guys respond to Jessi with what you'd like to see me add. If it's like a little bird, a crane, whatever, just like last night. But I'll take a second and let you guys know. Local business in the area is struggling. Make sure if you guys get a chance for our area here, Seneca, we're at 116 Fall Street, Seneca Falls, New York, the Artist Lounge. Anyone within this county, Seneca County, we have a great place out in Romulus, New York, Autumn's Harvest Farm. If you guys get a chance, stop. A lot of shelves are bare in stores. Tim and Sarah Hawes, they got a great selection of meat. You guys feel free, stop down. Tell them Dale sent you. Whatever you need. I was in there just the other day. They had turkey, ham, pork, Canadian bacon, real bacon. They have some great sausages. If you get a chance, try their honey sausage. Jessi loves that. It's like a honey chicken sausage. So if you guys get a chance, she'll put that in the links below. Check them out. Today they actually were closed because they were only helping elderly people and people with compromised immune systems. So I believe they are open tomorrow. Is it 11 to 4, Jessi? 11 to 4 tomorrow out there at Autumn's Harvest Farm. Check them out, guys. Did we get any responses? You're laughing. Sorry, Bill.
No petunia.
Oh, really?
Thank you.
Looks like he was trying to use the force there. Like, I'm not even noticing either. I'm just so zoned out. All right. So, did you get any responses?
No.
No? Okay.
No request.
No requests.
Oh, you're going to put an owl in there. Come on.
I just did an owl yesterday.
Put a snow owl.
Dinosaur death.
We're going to go in, and I'm going to do two little birds.
Oh, Lindsay says a crane.
So I got this beautiful little bird. And following President Trump's advice, I'm going to have his little girlfriend at a very good social distance away from him. Okay? Guess we can even add that little tail, go further down. There you go. That way you can tell it's his tail. This guy's a little... There you go. Maintaining a proper social distance from each other. They're lovebirds. Just the new kind of lovebirds. Alright, so crane. Where the heck am I going to put the crane? I guess we'll put it right down here. You guys see that while I'm doing it?
Yeah, good. Definitely darker than yours.
There you go. We'll put like a little, maybe he's got like a cool hairdo. Give him a wing. Every time I see a crane, they fly away. What are you adding, Bill?
Well, I asked for requests and they said, leave it alone.
Really?
They said, don't ruin a good picture. With one of your silhouettes. Not yours, mine. Great silhouettes.
So, since I have 70 on, I'm going to bore you real quick. If you get a chance while you are stuck at home during our fun times nowadays, check out some of the presidents of the past. A lot of our former presidents actually took up painting as a pastime. Kennedy did watercolors, bunch of different ones. George Bush Sr., he'll surprise you. So while you're at home, Google that. Take a look at some of their stuff. I think you'd really be amazed. But I mean, in their positions with the stress of what's going on, this is something they do. So, you know, it's definitely worth looking into what they did. So hopefully I still have 7 after that.
Lindsay said you should have painted Artist Lounge where you put Facebook Live up there on the easel.
Yeah.
You gotta put it on yours, Bill?
Probably spell it wrong.
ever notice that in cartoons and stuff? The artists always do that weird thing where
There you go, my crazy crane. He's ready to go for a fly. And with that, that's going to bring this one to the completion. So I'm going to go ahead and throw my crazy signature on this one. And I'm going to turn you over now to Bill.
See, so even when you start with a black background, you can get something a little eerier. Ooh.
Amazing.
So,
I got a couple thumbs.
for those of you out there, hope you guys are enjoying what we're doing. Hope you guys get to join us tomorrow night. We're going to be at 7 o'clock. Painting wise, like I said, we're going to be doing the Star Wars one. If you can let your kids stay up and paint it with us, that would be great. So from here at the Artist Lounge Studio in Seneca Falls, I'm Dale. That's Jessi.
And I'm Bill Clinton, kind of.
Signing out. See you guys tomorrow.